Yesterday we had the deep privilege of hearing from Rabbi Leo D. Rabbi D, of course, lost his 2 daughters and wife in a horrific terrorist attack when they were going on a trip during the holiday of Pesach. Last Pesach, they were going on in 2 separate cars. The family split up, and Mrs. D and her 2 daughters were in one car, and they went one way, and Rabbi D and his son and daughter went a different way to their destination, and Mrs. D and her 2 daughters were gunned down by Arab terrorists. The Chomesh Junction, not too far from here. And Rabbi D spoke last night to the entire camp here in the building behind me, and what he said was powerful, heartbreaking, terrifying, sad, hopeful. So many incredible things he said. Really has become a spokesman for faith and courage and emunah and bitachon in the Almighty throughout this incredibly unimaginable, terrifying experience that he and his family went through. But he said one thing that really struck out at me, and I want to share that with you. We've had protests here in Israel, and if you would be here, you would be astounded at the magnification of these protests, that it's the attention it's receiving outside of Israel. Here in Israel, they're protests. They're by and large quite peaceful. They're centered usually around the Tel Aviv area. They did march in a very long walk from Tel Aviv up to Jerusalem. It was about a day or two where the traffic was terrible, but by and large it's been very peaceful, and as is their right in this democracy, the only democracy in the Middle East. However, Rabbi D pointed out that if you look at the people who are against the reforms that Netanyahu is implementing, what are they doing? They're waving Israeli flags. If you look at the people who are against, they're also waving Israeli flags. So he's like, what are we doing here? Like, if you would drive down the street during a protest or a counter-protest, you would actually have a hard time determining who was for the reforms and who was against the reforms. And it was such a powerful point. And he said, we are all really unified here in Am Yisrael and the Jewish people in our homeland. We don't have, and this is the phrase that really struck me, we don't have uniformity, but we have unity. Everyone here believes passionately about the state, about its future, its direction. Even the ones who are against or are very, very secular, let's say, anti-religious, if that's true, if that's the case, they believe deeply and strongly in the power of a Jewish homeland, to their core. They have different ideas of how to get there, but the destination, the idea to preserve our Jewish homeland, is a unified theory and unified goal for absolutely everyone. We don't have uniformity, we don't have agreement on the idea, but we have unity. There's such a powerful message. Coming off Tisha B'Av, when hopefully we achieve the state of unity and uniformity, we all sat on the ground, we all didn't wear our leather shoes, we all thought of some tragedy or loss in our lives if we can't connect to the temple. So for one day we had uniformity and unity. Perhaps the unity or the uniformity is hard to attain, but at least, as the summer's still going on, as the weather is beautiful, let's get together. Let's continue to go to each other's homes on Shabbat and socialize and be there for each other at all times, but especially as we go into the high holy days. Yes, they're coming up, to try to achieve a heightened state of unity and maybe even some uniformity as well. Shabbat Shalom from the Holy Land.